Okay, we up.
And
You mean out of control?
I feel like a lot of things are being done under false pretense. So, I feel like people walking around with earpieces in their ear repetitively talking down to me as if they know everything there is to know about this situation, I think is under false pretense. Why would they even trust the people that they get the earpieces from? Because at the end of the day, I'm in this situation because they're roofing me. Where's the trust in roofing someone? You know? So, if I can't trust them, why do people walk around with earpieces trust them? And for example, like Ludacris, he had a song called Slap.
Called what?
Slap.
Slap.
Yeah.
SLAP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said something along the lines of, people, why people keep putting lies in my head. So, you know, what is the point of that? You know, and not just the lies, that's all people do is lie. And they do things in a way that you can't confront it. And then if you do confront them when they lying, all the blame get put on me. So I'm the bad guy when I confront somebody that's inside my head. And that's not cool. And when you start looking at the feds, what kind of game are they playing? They wouldn't put their children in this situation. So why put someone else's? And I look at it like this. I really don't like the feds that much because all they do is lie and and protect people who are actually the criminals. They protecting the criminals and trying to blame it on the innocent people that the innocent people that are the victims of all this. You know why you got mayors that are drug dealers, you got police that are criminals, you got rappers walking around with earpieces who made songs about the situation 3 years in advance. What kind of circus is that? But they did it to someone black, because they had planned to implement street laws, street codes, no snitching, stick to the G code, all that nonsense that if I don't do, then I'm considered lame. Me wanting to tell the police something that happened to me and I'm a victim in my community, that makes me the bad guy, right? So, yeah, you know, and these rappers, Young Jeezy, you know, Jay-Z. Jay-Z said on the song Click, who we gonna tell? We top of the totem pole. I guess that explains why the UN ain't got in touch with me. And the FBI hang up on me.
You said the UN.
Yeah, I reached out to the UN
Okay.
because it's a human rights violation. They can't even make up a law to justify reading someone's mind for 18 years. You can't even waterboard terrorists, actual terrorists that mean harm to America. You can't even waterboard them. So how is it you can roofie someone, read their mind for 18 years, and inflict pain throughout their body by pressing buttons? And then who was it, Ed O'Neill from Married with Children, celebrities running around saying that they could press a button and kill me anytime. How is this even possible?
I want to make sure I get your key points. I'm kind of writing slow today, but yeah, I want to make sure I wrote the UN because I don't think we ever talked about the UN before. Mm-mm. Yeah.
And you know, and black people, well, when you're a black police officer or a black federal agent, you know, I said I wasn't gonna go on this color thing, but you think you're part of something, whether the police department or the FBI or whatever agency you are in, but you're really not, because it's kind of like a pet pig or bacon situation.
Tell me about that.
You can either be the pet pig that run around the house and never get to sit at the table, never get to have dinner with the family. You got your little bowl off to the side, just like honeydew dogs, and they feed you, but their food is too good for you. You know, everything is levels. Or you could be the bacon and get ate by these people, metaphorically. Meaning they can kill you and get away with it. They can frame you and imprison you and get away with it. So, you know, it's kind of like you the pet pig of the bacon. You could be the black FBI agent that make you the pet pig. You could be the young black guy such as myself that makes me the bacon. Because the judicial system is different for us. You know, and when black people uphold their laws, especially when they're in the wrong, they just, you know, just, I guess, trying to fit in. They're not a part of them. They're just trying to fit in at the end of the day. You know, they went to college, they went through the academy or Quantico or whatever, you know, made the sacrifices, and blacks shouldn't be breaking the law, whites shouldn't be breaking the law. If so, you get arrested. But I didn't break a law. You know, they've been planning to do this to me since 18 years old. They pretty much judge, jury, and executioner. And this is not something where I'm just saying it to be saying it. There's actual evidence that proves that they've been planning to do this to me since I was 18. Jay-Z said I'm guilty of it too, but not like them. That's the evidence right there. But when do we start looking at this situation and say, okay, we can't prove things beyond a reasonable doubt, but we can't continue to let this go on and lie to ourselves and act as if we couldn't hit these people with conspiracy, because they can't. But again, Jay-Z said, who we gonna tell? We top of the totem pole. You know, it comes a time where people gotta do the right thing, you know, and to let this go on for 18 years and play out like this, like how you spoke of kids when I first came to your office. My mother's name is April Taylor. What do you think she's going through as a parent, seeing this happen to her child? You know, if you was a parent and this was happening to your child, you would be stressed out, probably barely able to go to work. Just like my mom is barely able to go to work and maintain and not cooking home cooked meals anymore, eating fast food all the time, taking high blood pressure medicine. You think they would subject their own people to that? No, they wouldn't. And then they say, well, your parents did this to you. How did they do this to me? Who put them in a position to do this to me?
What they mean your parents did it too.
That's the indirect communication. That's what they say. That's what they say. Y'all won't have to tell me why. Because of, you know, things went on before I was put on this medicine, where I started working at Triple Utilities, which was a government front. My friends started acting weird. My family started acting weird. My ex-girlfriend uh, started acting weird. Communication was happening in my circle of friends and family without my input or knowledge. I'm just seeing how one thing is said and then it's repeated by another person and another person. And then when I ask them, why or where did they get that information from? Prime example, one of the first ways I realized something wasn't right about this situation, I was over my friend's house. Well, we was over one of our friends' house, and two of my friends was indirectly communicating just like y'all doing now, and said that my ex-girlfriend told him that I was shooting blanks. And I've never known her to have conversation with these guys. And I asked her about it. She denied it. I asked my friends about it. They denied it. And there's plenty of examples where things were said and got back to people that don't normally communicate with each other. And I asked about it. And I asked them about it. And no one would tell me anything. I go places, they follow me where I go as if they're watching me. Once I started that job in Richmond, a lot of things went on. That's why that whole Jenna 6 thing was such a big deal. Not that, and who knows if that was real or fake at the end of the day, but they used that as a reference point to reference what my friends were doing to me.
Why would you say that Jenna 6 was fake?
Because I'm not in tune with the news. So when did that happen?
I don't remember what year.
Was it? So I'm not in tune. I was 21. I was still a kid. I got more things to be doing than to be sitting in the house looking at the news. And it's probably what happened when might have been still a teenager. Who knows? But things like my friends. It kind of made me forget what I was going to say. It was important to me. With the Geno 6, what was I going to say? Let's talk some about friends. My friends was communicating and saying things, and I'm trying to go back maybe at a time, and was saying things, and like I said, I don't know where they was getting their information from. My ex said things. I got people, and it wasn't just my family and friends. I had police officers. Lancaster County police officers started tailgating me. State police started tailgating me coming home from Richmond, and I'm not doing nothing illegal. One of my friends says something about another person we went to school with getting caught up in something and his dad getting him out of it. And being on this medicine for 18 years, I come to think, and this is my suspicion and my theory, I felt like these rappers and mobsters and the mafia sent a message from New York or wherever to my family that they was gonna harm me, and I allegedly said some things that threatened their syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why my friends, ex-girlfriend, and family did the things they did. Because it was gunplay in 05, the end of 05. Cameron getting shot. Cameron got shot in 2005 October at Howard Homecoming. The first thing he did after he got shot? Made a song talking about all my niggas come from minimum wages. You know what that meant?
Yeah.
The job at Triple E. He came out with the song When I Got the Job at Triple E. And he come out saying all my niggas come from minimum wages. Dick riding the dips, meaning I used to dress like with a New York style of dressing because I like the way Cameron dressed. Dick riding the dips, you know, meaning dressing like them, but still he trying to play us. Me telling people that I don't like how the Dipset rap because they all sound alike. Ferraris, we got them in flavors. Well, the morning the incident took place, they used Ferraris from a Jamie Foxx show where it says something along the lines of cell phones doing crazy things and mentioned one of my friends by name on a Jamie Foxx episode. And probably a month prior, I had a company phone from Triple E, battery completely dead. Someone called me like as if, and another dude I used to work with called me as if he was looking for marijuana. And mind you, I'm not selling marijuana. And I found it suspicious. And he was like, you know any weed? Or maybe he just thought I knew with some because I smoked marijuana. He was like, you know any marijuana? I was like, nah. You could check with someone else, and I named another friend that he could check with that smoked too. And when I hung the phone up with this person, that dead Triple E cell phone that was sitting in the back seat, completely dead, started beeping. You know, and I'm like, the battery's completely dead. It's powered off. Why is this phone beeping? Jamie Foxx episode did the exact same thing that morning that led to the event, to everything that happened. Where I'm looking at Jamie Foxx and it's something about Ferraris, crazy cell phones, name my friend name, and I'm sitting there like, you know, what is going on? I paid attention after I saw those things. And mind you, it was an old Jamie Foxx episode, and I don't think that it was remade or reenactment. What? Of course it's acted, but I don't think it was something where they reenact that episode specifically for this situation and drop little breadcrumbs for me. No, I think the episode was the episode that came out years prior, and Triple E and the government planned it around using that Jamie Foxx episode. And they also planned around Cameron saying Ferraris in the song, talk about his niggas coming from minimum wages, Ferraris and all that, after he getting shot. And mind you, when Cameron got shot, I didn't work for Triple E. My stepfather, you know, didn't give me a business card for these people by there. The first act of this situation was in 2005 when Cameron got shot. And then, what happened? I started working for Triple E. All this crazy stuff started happening with family, friends, people indirectly communicating in front of me about me. I asked them what they talking about. They claim not to know, just like y'all do today. What else? Oh, after the Cameron gets shot, first thing he do is make a song about me. Then the incident happened with me that morning, where the two guys I went to high school with knew about it before me, but I'm the one that allegedly getting blamed for attempted murder when two guys I went to high school was sitting a quarter mile from my house knowing about the situation before me. They obviously had to, because it was like I didn't know about them threatening me and doing the things that they was doing till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, so they had to know before me. You know, I don't own a weapon, I don't own a knife. I had no means to hurt nobody, no reason to. You know, and they sitting a quarter mile from my house, you know, and gotta have, and it wasn't even my phone. I took my mom's phone. She was in her room asleep. I took my mom's phone because she always left her phone up the hall on the table. I took my mom's phone, and the TV started talking to me with ringtones, and I'm like, I don't think this is normal. And that's when the Jamie Foxx stuff happened, the Wayans brothers, the ringtones. I'm like, this stuff don't seem normal. So I text the ringtone, and I got a message on the flip phone, and it wasn't a text message, it was on the front of the phone telling me to be at such and such place, time, or else. And I I had already thought before then that they was out to harm me and my family. Because when I was working at Triple E, when I was leaving work, a guy suspected of following me, monitoring me, and talking to someone on the phone about me,
Mm-hmm.
tried to run me off the road, or tried not necessarily run me off the road, tried to run me in front of a tractor trailer. And I can't prove that he was working for the government, but that's what I think. I think he was working for the government. He was driving a white pickup truck. I was driving a lowrider 7 Series BMW, which sits low to the road. And the tractor trailer was coming full speed on the interstate. He got behind me and started honking his horn, doing all kind of crazy muff stuff, trying to get me to pull out in front of the tractor trailer, but I wouldn't do it. And if I would have listened to him, I would have pulled out and got hit by that tractor trailer. I'm not making this up. And it's the same guy I suspect of following me because I was seeing him every day when I get off from work and headed towards home. And and I see him talking and looking in my direction like he was talking to somebody monitoring me. Because all that was going on. And I didn't have a phone because I broke my phone because I thought people was tapping my phone. Because conversations I was having was being repeated in emergency mandatory meetings at Triple E in indirect ways by a guy named Steve who oversaw the department that I was in. So again, I'm not doing anything illegal, and all this stuff is going on, and comes to find out, once the incident happened that morning, I'm headed back home because I'm like, what is going on? I decided to drive and go back home
Mm-hmm.
from Norfolk. They intercept the radio and say it's a good thing you turn around because if not, we was gonna kill you. Yeah, and I'm getting my mind read. This is if they want to let you hear that, they can. Because it's
So
not
that was direct.
direct through the radio.
Okay.
They didn't say my name. They said, "Good thing you turned around and went home because if not, we was gonna kill you." Those exact words. And under what condition would a radio station, and they could try to have plausible deniability or make up any kind of excuses why that was on the radio, but what do a radio have any business saying something like that if it wasn't directed towards someone? Because they got all kind of tricks up their sleeve to where, even that Ed O'Neill thing I showed you, where he said he could push a button in someone's life or something along the lines of that.
Who was that?
The video I showed you last time I came here, Ed O'Neill from Married with Children.
Oh, okay.
Where he said something, he could end Marcy or just press a button and it'll end her. I was told that at Eastern State. I'm all crazy in the head, messed up in the head at Eastern State, and I'm thinking that it's two sides and people are doing stuff to me, and if I get and I lost my mind, I really went crazy in 2006 when I was first put on this medicine, and I was at Eastern State, and I'm thinking if I get a candy bar at the machine, it'll get the medicine out my system, and once I got the candy bar and was walking away, the guy behind me walked up to the vending machine. Dr. Patel, who was a doctor at Eastern State, called the guy name that was behind me at the vending machine,
Mm-hmm.
and told him that if he do anything stupid, he'll blow his heart rate out his chest. So I want you to give me a reason why a doctor at Eastern State would tell a patient that if he do anything stupid, he will blow his heart rate out his chest.
I wouldn't know.
But I'm not making it up. But do you think he was talking to the patient? Or that's that indirect thing everyone do to talk to me? He wasn't talking to the patient behind me that went up to the vending machine after me. He was talking to me, but he didn't want to say it directly to me because of the protocols y'all got. He said, you do anything stupid, I'll blow your heart rate out your chest. So when Ed O'Neill, so have you ever heard the saying, read the room?
Mm-hmm.
So you think considering the terrain of everything that's going on with me and this medicine, and it just so happened that I'm looking at TV and something pop up with Ed O'Neill while I'm watching TV, Do you think that channel is reading the room very well by showing something that's a trigger to me? Because you know they're gonna deny it and say, you know, Terrell is Ed O'Neill was talking to Moss and he didn't mean any threat toward Terrell or nothing like that. Just like if you was to march down to Eastern State right up the street and ask Dr. Patel if he was talking to me, he's gonna say no, he wasn't talking to me. So where's the authority here? You know, where do we draw the line and say, hey, enough is enough? You know, because I got bad liver, bad kidneys, and a bad heart from this medicine. So what do I got to lose? You know, you think I'm not gonna stand up to the bullet because it looked like they trying to ruin me and keep me on this medicine for the rest of my life anyway, under trumped up fraudulent charges? Because that's what they're trying to do. And then they scapegoating and blaming my family when the reality is everything that concerns me should have been brought to me and not my family, not my friends, and not my ex-girlfriends, and not my childhood doctor who they bought into this on their own, and the one who actually gave me the medicine. My mom didn't give me this medicine. The government didn't give it to my mom. My stepfather didn't give me this medicine. The government didn't give it to my stepfather. My real father didn't give me this medicine. The government didn't give it to my real father, my stepfather, or my mother. They gave it to Dr. Ting. What did he have to do with this? You know, it's all these hands and strings are being pulled, and all they can figure out to do. Who makes all this? Who bring everybody in the room? You know, whether it's me, my family, my friends, rappers, Dr. Tingle, the community. There's one variable that connects all of us. And it's not each other. It's the government. So when are they gonna take accountability? Because they love going around blaming me, blaming my ex, you know. They talk about my ex. I can show you a license plate I took a picture of where it shows crew sexing. Like Fat Joe said in the beginning 2006, how your baby mama F your whole team, you know, all this kind of stuff about my ex-girlfriend cheating on me with my friends, you know. But do you think they talk about her quitting college to come home and try to save me from whatever these people are trying to do to me? And this is the community of Williamsburg, which should be in the same mindset as the community in Lancaster, wanting the same goals, trying to achieve the same thing. You know. So when you look at this situation, you know, and personally, I feel like the only reason you got the celebrities involved is because they can sway people thinking, make people do things that they normally wouldn't do, go along with things that they normally wouldn't go along with because it ain't right, it's unethical, it's immoral, it's a human rights violation, it's illegal, and it's wrong. And people run around looking at me crazy and getting upset with me as if they're not contributing to the chaos. When they being biased, run around blaming me for everything, highlighting all my shortcomings, all my mistakes, that sometimes they actually create themselves, and they don't want to take accountability for that. They act like, oh, he's a nuisance, he's annoying, he's obnoxious. Well, I could say the same thing about anybody with an earpiece that repetitively say the same thing over and over, and no end, just for the sake of doing it, and ain't achieving nothing by doing it. They could say something today, the situation gonna be the exact same next week when they say the same thing again, and they ain't saying it to help. They're saying it to be antagonistic. You know, and the government allowed this. When was it? Last week I got on the bus. I get on the bus, and let me take a step back further. I was asleep on my couch, dozed off, and my neighbor started yelling and it scared me, and I jumped up. And he got this thing where he do that, when he yell a lot. I actually called the police on him one time about a complaint of his loud that's yelling at his significant other, where he's probably, being in my head and yelling at me. But anyway, I called the police and called the landlord first, told him, he's making a lot of noise. He got a dog that keeps barking, and I think he intentionally make him bark. It's times where I done caught him taking mail that was delivered to him that wasn't his and putting it on top of my box for the mailman to pick it up when he come back. I mean, he could very well leave it on his box, and the mailman could pick it up because they side by side. But he put it on mine, and I moved it and put it back on his. Well, I looked out the door one day, and saw him trying to sneak it back up on mine. He's been antagonistic. So I'm a little annoyed by him. But he think he's. I think it's a thing where, they consider me rude and arrogant.
Your neighbors?
Everybody. And I'm not rude or arrogant. I'm confident in myself because at the end of the day, all I got is myself. And all I get from the community is what I'm doing wrong, what my friends doing wrong, what my exes done wrong, what my family done wrong. We can't do nothing right. Negativity, toxicity, everything is just toxic. Bias. The drug dealing man, nothing to say about him. All it is toxic shit that people say to me every single day. Even when they call themselves helping me, they help me by offending the hell out of me, saying disrespectful things, and I'm supposed to see a silver lining. So I have to depend on myself. I have to stand in my own truth. That's not arrogance. It's not even. I have to be confident in myself because I can't depend on y'all to be honest. So that's where I stand. It's not arrogance. But anyway. So I said that to say this. People feel like I'm arrogant and rude and offensive and racist probably too. So when they get the opportunity to put me in my place, they probably relishing it and enjoy it to some degree. Killing two birds with one stone. They could offensively say something disrespectful to me that's supposed to have a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the game is designed. But anyway, back to my neighbor. Maybe they don't like me. Who knows? But anyway, I'm asleep, and he started yelling and woke me up out my sleep. It actually scared me. It's abuse and traumatizing. So.
What was he yelling?
I don't even know what he was yelling. I think he yelled to wake me up. To be honest with you, because the walls are very thin, and the walls are very thin. And I was like, man, I wish he stopped doing that. I didn't complain about that before, so I went in the room, which is overseeing his sunroom, and I started playing my music real loud. That's where my studio is at. If it was over his room, I would have played it loud there too. And I played my music real loud for like an hour straight. And it is what it is. Because his son is the same one running around saying he hate black people. He sacrificed himself from Pakistan. And even when I used to make music, I'm making music, and he would start yelling in his room under me. So that's that. So I'm not too fond of him. And anyway, I cut the music off, get up the next day, and I had an appointment at the doctor. Well, so I get up the next morning, had a doctor's appointment. I always clean my house before I leave, just like I did today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cleaning up, and I'm like, okay, yesterday was a mess. Let's be nice to each other. And this is what I'm telling myself, trying to manifest this outcome. I'm like, I'm going to be respectful, nice to everyone. I hope everyone is respectful and nice to me, because I don't want to go on this mental rant. So when I get on the bus, black guy come on there talking about that mother is dead. You know, I wish he would say something to me. All kind of foolishness. And the thing is, he thought he was helping. I don't think he personally meant that, because
Was he talking to somebody?
he would talk. He was allegedly talking about a guy that pulled a knife on him at the bus station. He was like, I wish he would say something to me. He got, you know, you know, he started it, this, that, and the third. And then later on, I see a sign or a license plate or something that said full circle, as if they had him treat me that way because how I treated the kid, in which he's probably like 15. Full circle. But you know, there's not too many, if any, situations where I've been on the offensive in this situation. I'm generally nice to anybody that's nice to me, verbally wise. You know, mental stuff. No one's gonna like everything they see about everybody they meet or come in contact with.
Right.
That's normal. People probably look at me in first impression if they usually the first impression and first experience I had with someone new tends to be good. But then when they around me long enough and see how this situation is handled and how I react to it, they kind of get turned off by it. Because they bullies, and I'm not gonna be bullied. They playing chess. I'm not gonna be a pawn. And that's kind of how things are. Even on my best behavior, I'm being disrespected by people. And there's times where I've been consistently on good behavior, what they define mental behavior, and they've still been a-holes. And a lady said that at Terrell. She a Jamaican lady got it that was sitting in front of me in line. She acknowledged that, you damned if you do, damned if you don't, and I forgot exactly what she said, but that's what it made me recollect and think of. Like, she kind of stood up for me. Just like at Centero time before that, where a black man and his wife or woman came out, Centero, and he said he's like, it ain't nothing but about money. And he seemed like he was upset by that, because, this is something he just seemed like he was upset by that for simple fact that was happening to another black person. And, and that's really how most black people should feel, I feel. But I feel like we're too busy trying to convince everyone else that they're not like me. And if I'm not like me. If they would have threw pretty much any black person in my shoes and had the objectives and the resources and the means to do the things that they did to me, they would turn out just like I did, or am, if not worse. So that's kind of that. And it's a situation that needs to stop. And back to the guy on the bus where he talking about, and he yelling in front of everybody, kept saying that MF are dead, I wish he would say something to me, and my thing to that is I didn't say nothing to him directly. Indirectly, I communicated with him because I got telepathy. Wait a second. I had to make a joke.
Okay, because I was like, where that come from?
I know. But I don't think he meant any harm, in a sense. But, that was kind of, I was being serious and then I just made a joke. But anyway, because it's funny, I don't find that doing that is going to be productive. It's not going to be productive. It's not going to be productive. And not just that, it's just not going to be productive. I feel like when we got to start treating each other that way, like all is lost. You still laughing at what I
Yes.
said? I,
I feel today.
I feel like all is lost when we gotta start treating each other like that. All is lost, and you know the government shouldn't allow us to be treating each other the way we treat each other. Whether the earpieces or me turning up music loud, you know, because you know I'm annoyed by the community. I'm really annoyed by them, and this situation been going on for 18 years. I'm 39. I done spent like over 40% of my life on this medicine. You know, and it really don't laughing at me now. It really needs to stop. And you know, but I was being serious about everything else. I don't even know why I made that joke, to be honest with you. I don't know, but anyway, I just thought, I guess it was just, I don't know, cause it is what it is. But yeah, the situation has been going on for too long, and it kind of needs to stop. But on a serious note, we should be treating each other the way we treat each other.
When you say we, you talking about black people?
The community,
Okay.
everyone. You know, like when I was at Eastern State in like what 2016, 17,
Mm-hmm.
one of the guys there said, "Die slow, MF, or die slow." That hurt my feelings. Just like the guy on the bus, if I wasn't used to it, that would have hurt my feelings. That's why the joke came in, because I'm used to it, I think, and that was kind of like a response. Because, like, you hear things, you know, I'm pretty sure you see the circus in the community, when I'm not in your office, so it's one of those things where, you know, I act out from time to time, not because I'm that way, because it's public shaming. It's public shaming and public abuse. And the rappers actually used to say that. They used to say thugging out in public, political gangsters. And like even Ludacris said on that song, George Bush don't care about our black ass. So it's really public shaming. And I was just looking at
You said
YouTube
Ludacris on what song?
called Slap.
Oh, on that slap song.
Yeah, when he talked about people putting lies in my head.
And what year was that?
I think it's between 2006 to 2008. I was on the medicine when it came out. So it's public shaming, it's public abuse and torture, and I react, how I react, and it ain't always professional. I'm not even gonna lie about that, but you know, it's kind of like you never know when you become famous. You don't know how much you can take. From Britney bald in the head, from Michael Jackson hanging his child off the balcony, to who else? Dave Chappelle losing it. I ain't say he lost it, but he was mentally unstable at one point in time. But he got himself together. When they started going after him over that 50 million, and he moved to Africa, and everybody started slandering him. Whitney Houston. Like, it comes to a point where you just get brutally honest. Like, for example, when the media kept hounding Whitney about being on drugs, Whitney Houston. And Whitney Houston said, "I don't smoke crack. Crack is cheap." Implying that she does cocaine, you would think. You know, it comes a time if you keep pushing someone, they're gonna break and just say, "Fuck it. I am whatever you say I am. It is what it is." You know, and especially when they baseless and lies, and you kind of rigging the game to make it look a certain way. Just people, people gonna have a breaking point to where the political correctness and the professionalism is gonna go out the window, and they just gonna say what they mean and what's on their mind, and that's kind of where I'm at, and at the end of the day, I don't want to fight nobody because with all my health conditions, I'll probably seriously get hurt if I get into a physical altercation. So I don't want to fight nobody. I don't even want to argue with nobody, because I don't do that either. You know, every time I'm complaining about something, generally, most of the time it's thoughts, and I don't think people can get outside themselves to realize that, you know, hey, and it was a lady at Popeyes that said this when I was over there getting chicken one day. She was like, can't put all the blame on him because some of it is our fault too because of what we're doing to him.
What was she talking about?
She indirectly said that, and I just took it she was referring to my situation. She said, she didn't put all the blame on me, and that's what people got to start doing. They can't just say Terrell this, Terrell that. They gotta say, hey, we're listening to his thoughts. It ain't supposed to be pretty, and I don't feel like they do that enough. I don't feel like they really want to hone in on that and make people come to that conclusion. If they come to it, they can come to it on their own, or they may know it from the jump. But they not gonna enlighten y'all in the sense of educating y'all to justify my behavior and my outbursts or whatever it may be. They not gonna do that because they want me looking fucked up in the community. They not gonna say, well, there's a reasonable reason why he's this or that or this or that. That's not on him. They're not gonna educate y'all in that form. They just gonna pick at it and pick at it and pick at it because they want me to be the bad guy. Like for example, you see how we ride around with flags that says support Ukraine because Russia invaded. You see all this Ukraine, donate money to Ukraine, this, that, and the third, because we're not doing that to Ukraine. So we can position ourselves to show the hardship of what Ukraine is going through. Well, who was that for Iraq and Afghanistan? Who was running around saying support Iraq, support Afghanistan when we was over there bombing people like crazy, which is worse than what Russia ever done to Ukraine. So, and it's not even from a terrorist perspective. Iraq had nothing to do with anything. We know that now. The news done said that. You can Google it. It's confirmed. It's not just a conspiracy theorist anymore. Saddam had nothing to do with anything that happened to us that led to that war. He didn't have weapons of mass destruction. He had nothing to do with 9/11. That both of those are proven facts now. So where was that? But see, the thing, when you get that terrorist label or rapist label, it's hard to come back from. It ain't even gotta be true. America just will throw that at you just to get it to stick so they can have their way with you. And it's just things like they did that with the WikiLeaks guy, said he raped a girl. They did that with Andrew Tate, said he raped a girl. Both turned out to not be true. When they put that label on you, you don't come back from that. And that's why they do that. It's a trick that they've been using for hundreds of years to kind of ruin anybody that threatens the establishment. And that's what they do. But, same thing with terrorists. Terrorism, the war on terror is the new war on communism. Would you agree? The way they threw communism around as a threat to democracy, they throw terrorism around. They got the same road, and it's just to scare the people, pass policies, make laws, and is there even really a terrorism threat? Who knows? But that's kind of that. But yeah, so you know, America, they done lost their way. They done lost that a long time ago. You know, and back to what I was saying, we shouldn't ever. This situation shouldn't come to a point to where we are treating each other the way we treat each other. Because at the end of the day, they're not treating Donahue not like that. They're not treating Main Street from my town like that. You know, mainly the people that they slander and talk about are black people. You know, and I don't like that. You know, and the main people that I offend from my community is black people. Not because they don't like me, because that's my community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how they do cockroaches. Or, you know, you feed one the poison and let it go back to its community and it kills all of them. That combat stuff. You know, and this is metaphorically. I'm not saying they're going to kill anybody from my community. I'm saying
I know what you meant.
they poison me,
Mm-hmm.
so therefore, whatever community would I poison and humiliate and shame and put their business out in the street other than my own? So it's one of those things where people from my community probably not gonna like me because I got jammed up by these people in this situation, and whether it's a past indiscretion or a past embarrassment or whatever, it's coming out. And yeah, so it's one of those things where it's not my fault, and that was said too at the beginning.